What up, friends? Welcome to the Friday afternoon edition of the Geoff Fienberg Show here on FTN Daily, presented by PrizePicks. Oh, watching a football game last night feels like we got to go to the strip club, but I'm not relieved yet. I need a full slate of games to really feel myself, to be satisfied. Tease last night, and what a tease it was. What a tease. What a show. I was on the Cowboys, put it out there like a lot of people, took the points, felt like a lot of points. I didn't feel like it was that sharp a call. Tampa probably got lucky to win the game. Nonetheless, we move on. Tampa gets the win. It is my Chargers who have to face Dallas next week, something I was thinking a lot about watching that game. Not that any of you would care, but no one likes to see the team that they're playing have extra rest. I will say, what can the game plan for? Chargers, new scheme, new coach. I'm super excited. That's for another time. That's for maybe later in the show. Although, fingers crossed, like a lot of you fantasy owners, my soul is hoping for positive news this afternoon. On the West Coast, Chargers usually practice around 2 o'clock, friends, and we're all waiting for positive Austin Eckler news. I really hope he's a go. That would be a tough one versus the Redskins without Austin Eckler or an actual element of running game or backfield passing. Ryder Cup Europe. That roster is taking shape. Some changes have already happened at the top. I should say in the automatic qualifying situation, as round 2 at Wentworth has been completed. And American League East drama as I sit here in Toronto, snickering away at the misfortune of others at this very moment in time. Can't help myself. Anytime I love the Blue Jays, I've loved them my entire life. It's baseball. Who doesn't grow up loving baseball? Even if you don't, it's weird. Even if you don't actually love baseball, it still seems like you're able to have an affinity for the local team. Yeah. The Blue Jays are incredibly popular. I knock over the cup without water. That's a good sign. Would have been really thrown me off track to knock the cup up with water. Speaking of water will find its level certainly when it comes to PrizePicks. But until then, you can double your deposit bonus with a 100% instant match bonus up to $100. I had a fun night on PrizePicks last night, despite my power plays that got roasted by Gronk. Other excitement happening on PrizePicks. 100% instant match bonus up to $100. It's you versus the projections over at PrizePicks. And are you feeling? I don't know. Was last night a sign? Was last night a sign? Dak able to throw for 400 yards? That amazing receiving core on that Tampa D. Are we going to get a lot of offense out of the gate this year? Usually the defense has that early season advantage. Sometimes as offenses, start to come together. I don't know. There are a lot of overs. I could be in big trouble if it doesn't work out for me this week. But over at PrizePicks, they're giving away essentially free money. All you need to do is add Patrick Mahomes to your power plays. I saw they have his fantasy projection this week at half a point. Some kind of promotion going on at PrizePicks. They're giving you essentially a leg of your power play or flex play out of the gate. Patrick Mahomes, half a point over at PrizePicks. Major League Baseball pennant races taking full steam. Still time to make your NFL future projections over at PrizePicks, but I don't want to say I'm like in the minds of futures I'm done, because there are a couple future boards I want to look at as I get later in the show, almost to decompress on the morning after the season or on the eve of the first weekend of the season. How much different do some of these coach of the year odds or MVP odds look compared to where they were 2 or 3 weeks ago, a month ago, when we were 2 months ago, when we were looking at them heavily and, digesting them heavily and doing shows talking about off-season awards and trying to find great numbers. Where do these sit now? We all know, guys like Calvin Ridley and CD Lamb, they're receiving top receiver in the league futures. They got absolutely crushed. They certainly did. And I guess it's looking good for Lamb already and Amari Cooper. I'm heavily invested in. So I had a great time watching that last night. Last night was a great sports night, at least for me personally. Like all the tingles coming back. It's that time of year. Baseball playoff race. The Jays were playing an important game versus the Yankees, completing a 4-game sweep. Obviously, the first football game of the season. And crazy enough, if I told you there were times where I was putting tennis on my main screen. Why? Because there's this little Canadian girl named Leila Fernandez who is just taking over Arthur Ashe by storm. When did so she's into the finals, and Canada's got a gentleman in the semifinals tonight, trying to have a man and women in the finals after Andreescu won the last she didn't participate last year. So she won the US Open a couple years ago. Really weird. Like Canada, we're just like to, do well. Maybe we get a podium. I don't know, compete, personal best. A lot of like weird things happening overall in like the Canadian sports scene. We're actually winning things. I mean, I don't contribute to any of that, but I enjoy seeing it from my couch. Because normally like 5th place would get Canada all riled up and proud. But now on a lot of levels, they're just, I don't know, soccer and tennis, just a lot of sports that Canada wasn't really on the map for. So it's kind of a bit of a whirlwind, at least for the Canadian sports fan like myself. Yeah, I don't know. That's just, it's weird. You would have told me it's the first night of football and the Blue Jays are playing the Yankees in important baseball and I'm flipping to tennis. Must be something special. Oh, feels like that is certainly happening. Okay, European Ryder Cup team. European Ryder Cup team is starting to form, but a lot of questions certainly remain because as this second round concluded, friends, Justin Rose was in 5th place. Shane Lowry was in 8th place. Bernd Wiesberger was in 19th place, and Lee Westwood was in 36th place. What does that mean? What does that mean for the moment in time? And I believe he's almost going to be locked into his spot. Is Bernd Wiesberger seems highly probable to qualify on points for the European Ryder Cup team at the moment, knocking out Shane Lowry. Is that significant? Yeah. I don't think it's the biggest deal to Shane Lowry, but there's also the possibility Lee Westwood could lose his spot. There's the possibility that Lee Westwood could lose his spot. But at the moment, it is Shane Lowry who's lost his spot. I believe Shane Lowry will get in on captain's. I believe Shane Lowry would warrant himself a captain's pick. So Bernd is in. Bernd feels like it's an absolute lock. I don't know if there's a permutation that could take Bernd out. So what happens now? Shane Lowry gets a captain's pick. If Justin Rose, so then it's essentially 2 picks for 3 guys. It would then become Rose and Sergio and Poulter. 2 picks for 3 guys. Now it could get less interesting potentially if Westwood fell out. Because if Westwood falls out, I don't take him to straights. I don't take Westwood to straights. If Westwood falls out and say Rose can get that spot or Lowry can get that spot back, I believe Westwood would become an odd man out. That is how I believe it would play out. That is just my opinion. But we'll see. It'll be interesting because Sergio and Rose coming. If Rose was healthy, I always suspected Rose makes this team. Sergio Garcia just played at Eastlake. He just made it to the Tour Championship on the #1 tour in the world. Europe doesn't have better players than Sergio Garcia. So I guess it becomes a referendum on Poulter, but I think Poulter gets Westwood's spot if Westwood isn't able to maintain. Okay, I'm seeing in the chat that Potty hates Sergio. Well, that's interesting. I don't know what that's about. I'll Google that. There's obviously an interesting backstory that maybe I should know, but I feel like I'm unaware of. And Lowry fits whistling straights. Like, I think Lowry works for whistling straights. So Lowry's on this team 100%. I mean, it's not even like Lowry's playing bad. It's just the permutation of Burns of Shane's in 8th place and he's lost his spot on the team. Right? Interesting. Although not interesting at all, because we kind of feel like it doesn't matter. Shane Lowry in many ways would be like that really good college basketball team. Well, relative speaking to the Ryder Cup Europe options, but this really good team that will get a spot in the tournament, but once they lose in their conference tournament, you're like, oh, now they have to take an at-large bid. Oh, this is really annoying. That's really bad for some of the guys down the line. So that's where I believe Shane Lowry will come in. But he's got nothing to worry about. Who does have something to worry about? The players, it seems like, with the most to worry about, I guess, are Lee Westwood and Sergio Garcia. Okay. Patty hates. I don't mean to like have this. I'm gonna go one-on-one with Codine Country Club, whatever. I'm just questioning. I just have a question. Goes back to Sergio losing to Potty 2 majors in a row. So Potty hates Sergio because he beat Sergio in majors. I mean, if anything, he would just look at Sergio and be like, "Hi, you're endearing. I beat you. I got the majors, buddy." I don't know. That would be interesting. Although, let's not discount this because it's very true as it pertained to USA, in my opinion. And I'm not saying there's any Patrick Reed situation in this, but what I am trying to say is I have no doubt that Rory McIlroy, is involved in making this decision. John Rahm is consulted probably on who they would rather have. When you are the stalwarts at the front end of the team, and you are, I believe, you are solicited for your opinion, but I believe you also give it. So it'd be interesting. I think Rory has a lot of weight. And I would think the number one in the world who will buy into the team philosophy here holds a lot of weight. My concern for Europe for this event, though, is I just think they're going to be overwhelmed by that American team. And, many times Europe has looked like on paper they're potentially being overwhelmed and they do great and they win. And I've been on Europe for every time I've ever bet a Ryder Cup. But this time I'm stepping with the Americans. I'm going to lay heavy juice. I hope to have a successful week 1. I'm going to Vegas in a few weeks. I want to pay for Vegas. I want to brown bag the Americans to beat Europe in the Ryder Cup. I really, 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 really do. I don't care if Brooks has to withdraw with injury. I don't care. Do I wish Patrick Reed made the team? I absolutely do wish Patrick Reed made the team. But I really just want the Americans to win because I'm going to bet them a lot. And I don't think Patrick Reed makes a difference. I'm dumb enough to think this American team's got a mulligan and a half. You know what? I want to just calm myself down because one of the main reasons I want to hammer America is because I'm like, Europe's going to have 3 Lee Westwoods on it. But as it turns out, they might not even have the actual Lee Westwood on it. I think if Lee Westwood falls out, that's a huge coup for the Europeans, in my opinion. If Westwood falls out, that would be a huge win for the Europeans. Sergio was blaming the losses to Patty on bad luck. Oh, whatever. Sergio's a sore loser. Again, Patty won. So I think Patty can look at, I don't know. It's something I'm kind of unaware of. I'm not surprised to hear that Sergio was a sore loser. But Sergio seems to be mellowed. You know, he's got 2 kids now. He's a girl dad. He's won his major. I don't know. That would be tough. I think Europe needs Westwood to fall off this thing. To avoid the awkward decision. Because I think, it makes perfect sense to say their best 12 would be Rom, Rory, Victor, Hatton, Fitzpatrick, Fleetwood, Lowry, Wiesberger, Rose, Poulter, Sergio, Casey. That's the 12. I think all 12 of those are better than Lee Westwood. You can make the case Robert McIntyre would be good for Whistling Straits. He's done nothing. He has done nothing to earn his way. He's done nothing. He didn't even have a good Corn Ferry playoff. I mean, I like Robert McIntyre. 2 months ago, I project him on the team. But today, Bobby's not on the team. All right, I'm trying to read this. Patty said I was polite, but he's a very sore loser, continues to be a sore loser. Yeah, I assume they're friends now because Patty's been vice captain on a lot of these Ryder Cup teams that Sergio's won, and Sergio's become a team guy. And I think I'm only speaking from afar, is that I think everyone would acknowledge Sergio's a bit of a different guy these days. But on the golf course, it's a fiery competitor. And if there's ever a place for a sore loser, maybe it is the Ryder Cup. No one likes that annoying, like pesty third line player on the other guy's hockey team, but when he's on your team, you love him. So yeah, and I don't know. I just like when Padres thinks back and thinks of those events. He just knows he got the better of Sergio and he made Sergio tweak. So I'm not going to overread that. The guy made the tour championship. Doesn't that mean he's got to be on the team? I mean, all this stuff happening in Wentworth, that's lovely. If Sergio was told he wasn't going to be on the team, wouldn't he have even I'm going to embarrass myself because maybe Sergio did play Wentworth, but I don't think he did because I don't think he needs to. He just played the tour championship on the best tour in the world. Is Team Europe good enough that they cannot take a player who just made it to Eastlake on the world's #1 tour? No. The answer's no. Yeah, maybe. Or Padre just knows Sergio's good for the team. He's good on the Ryder Cup. I don't know if they're friends now. I have no idea. I don't think it totally matters. But it is what it is. Obviously I didn't full focus Wentworth. I took most of a week off from golf betting. I copied a couple people's picks. I got Horsfield and Bizet and Hope would be the only guys I bet on that I think have a pulse. Did Sergio go to Wentworth? If someone wants to tell me in the chat who's would have played Wentworth DFS, because I certainly didn't even set a lineup. I'm one of those people that really wish golf had an actual off season. I would have no issue if they didn't play through the Ryder Cup. And then what's next week? The Fortnite? I know it's not Fortnite, but it's some new sponsor I've never heard of, and it's Silverado. They're out Napa. It's some muck event. It's the Brendan Steele Open, right? It's the Brendan Steele Championship. So next week's the Brendan Steele Championship. I guess I'll be here Wednesday night to break it down. But golf, no off season in golf is exhausting. I don't even do my show with Mayo on golf until after football now. Before Christmas, Patrick Mayo and I are only going to do 2 golf shows. We're going to do a Ryder Cup show, and we're going to do a season we're gonna just do a look ahead show on Christmas, when for the best of content, sort of like Christmas, New Year's. We'll release some season predictions. We'll preview the upcoming season. Those are the only 2 golf shows I'm gonna do in Mayo until Christmas. But I'm gonna keep doing my golf stuff here on Wednesday nights. I'm gonna keep doing my golf stuff on Odds Checker with at Rick Run Good, Rick Gaiman. But swing season is so muck. It's where Kevin Na gets to pile up his wins. The only thing more exhausting than this Patrick Reed talk this week, because I'll admit I'm heartbroken. Not for me. I'll get over it. I like Patrick Reed. I like Patrick Reed. I think he's given an unfair deal sometimes. I agree to a lot of people. He could handle things a lot better. He's no choir boy or innocent, but it's golf. Guys that spice it up, I don't mind. That's why when people tweak at Bryson, I don't know, it makes me like Bryson more. Even though I think Brooks Koepka is a bit of an asshole, golf could use more assholes. It makes it interesting. I don't like a lot, he's crossed a line or two, in my opinion, by offering beer to people who got kicked out, heckling Bryson. That's a line I felt was uncalled for golf. But I like anyone that gives us personality or shows us anything but being boring. I don't mind. And I guess that's why guys like Kevin Na and even Kevin Kisner have been so endearing to a lot of fans over the last little bit, because they do show personality and they do make you at times want to root for them. And when you invest in them and you show that sort of personality, you appreciate it, as silly as that might sound, or not sound silly at all. I'm not all that sure. Anyhow, here we are. We are on the eve of Saturday, probably the longest day and a half of the year. Longest day and a half of the year. I need Sunday more than it. I need Sunday as much as you probably think I need a salad. When you love a team, I just need my team. I need to see that ball kicked off in the air. I can't wait to see your team. I can't wait to watch Trevor Lawrence. I'm going somewhere on Sunday. We've got 7 screens. When there's bye weeks, that works out great. There's 9 games on 1:00 on Sunday. So we'll have a couple laptops set up, maybe laptop screens. And me and my buddies were already arguing. What's on this screen? What's on that screen? Screen priority. Screen. Oh, I hope Austin Eckler's healthy for a screen pass. Please. Be big trouble if he isn't. And people, I will not stand for my friends besmirching the ability to give us a good Trevor Lawrence screen. Do I give a shit about Jacksonville? No. Do I think the Titans are god-awful? And when you see longtime NFL reporters that have been around this thing for a long time, year in, year out, they've been at training camps for 20, 30 years, they tell you there's an expansion team vibe around Houston. I believe it. You look at the roster on paper, you believe it. So, your eyeballs and your ears just tell you to believe it. So I'm believing it. I don't care. I need to see Trevor Lawrence take his first passes. I need to see Zach Wilson play Sam Darnold. I need to see it. Even at 4:00, Mac Jones versus Tua. I need that. I need that more than I need Baker versus Mahomes. Baker versus Mahomes. Both teams are going to be great. I got no doubts. The Browns might be fantastic. The Browns truly might be fantastic. It's awkward to say sometimes. But they get Grant Delpit back on defense, and they sign Clowney, who maybe is overrated, but come on, he's when he's healthy, he's good. He's healthy today. And I'm a Charger fan, so I don't like to project injury. That just happens anyway. As long as they're healthy, I want to believe they can be healthy. Right? So the Browns, to me, seem loaded. And Odell's coming back, and Baker had such a good year last year, and everyone on the team sort of bought into everything. They got they got maybe one of the top 3 running backs, top 5 running backs in the league. Maybe I'm being a little too excited about Chubb, but they got a top 2 or 3 running back combo in the league, and that's more important. I mean, to your fantasy team, you don't want Chubb to lose a carry ever to Hunt. But if you're a Browns fan, you acknowledge, like, no, this is, from our team perspective, this is fantastic. So I think the Browns are loaded. And Odell, he's got to just be I don't mean Odell is a role player. We're going to rewind that. What I mean is Baker's not going to just feel obligated, or I want to make sure our relationship is happy, or I want to make sure he likes me and force him the football. Odell is he's a part of the offense. He's a great player. He could be like the ultimate X factor in this team making that next step. But I don't think Baker feels that sense of pressure in having to force the ball to Odell or try to appease Odell or to try to glad hand Odell. Odell's got to march with the other 52. And that's a great thing for the Browns. And hopefully that works out. And I don't mean don't be be the man, make your catches, celebrate, have your fun. I don't even care if you want to take it out on a kicking net. I just mean, like, when the quarterback doesn't throw you the ball, this quarterback, this coach, they're going to deserve the benefit of the doubt from me, until they struggle, I think. I really like it. And that's not even, there's nothing hot takes about it. And I agree, the Browns should be in no rush to give Baker the contract. I don't even like that the Bills gave Josh Allen the contract. And I think Josh Allen's amazing, like you do. But they paid him, like, let's say Josh Allen did it again. It honestly wouldn't cost that much more than it just cost the Bills. And you'd be happy to pay a little bit extra to see that he actually did it again. Like, this contract is so big, it'd be hard to think doing it again would have made it that much bigger. Outside of winning the Super Bowl. And then if he wins the Super Bowl, you're happy to pay him whatever they want. That's just how it works. So I love Josh Allen. I think he's amazing. I think he's going to continue to be amazing. I like Josh Allen out of school. Even when Josh Allen struggled as a rookie, you saw, even in his second year, even through the struggles, you always saw the ceiling. Like, whoa. There is something there. Special. And he played it off, and it worked out. It worked out. But there was such a jump in accuracy that, like, if there's a bit of a regression with Allen, like, you can't be that shocked. I'm not even projecting it. I'm not even calling for it. I think Bills are going to be amazing. Anyone that knows me, anyone that watches my content, my one of my biggest offseason futures is Sean McDermott 18-1 to win Coach of the Year. And that bet is essentially betting that Allen is going to be amazing. Allen's going to get me that award. I'm betting on Josh Allen by making that bet. Hello? That is a bet on Josh Allen. That is a bet on Josh Allen when I bet Sean McDermott to win Coach of the Year. But yeah, I don't know. I would make Baker show everything till the end before I paid him. As much as I like him, I would need to see it again before you give the contracts that are being given. And that's what sort of makes this new modern rookie wage scales, you get to see the quarterbacks for enough years where you can make that decision. That's what's going to make what could potentially happen in Green Bay hyper interesting, because they, the clock, you got to make these decisions on even those 50-year options before you want to on these rookie quarterbacks. You do. You got to make these decisions before you want to. And they're going to be put on the gun pretty quickly with Jordan Love. Let's say he's okay in his first year. Let's say he's okay in his second year. Now what? You know, you really crunch that squeeze. You really squeeze that crunch. I don't even know how you want to put it. But yeah, here we are. It's 3:30 on Friday. Football season starts Sunday. I cannot wait to gather with like it is better than the Super Bowl. It's better week 1, week 2, like these are the best weeks of the year. These are the best. Oh my god, everyone's going to be in a great mood. I don't know what your football plan is on Sunday, but mine's going to be around a lot of lifetime buddies, and we're all just going to be in a good mood until 103, where then the sour faces start to show up. People need to get fresh air. That happens. Prize Picks, prizepicks.com. Use that promo code FTN. 100% instant match bonus up to $100. It's you versus the projections over at Prize Picks. As I told you earlier, Patrick Mahomes over half a fantasy point projection. You can go fluff up a power play this weekend with Patrick Mahomes. I always assume there's a fight. Not Trump versus Holyfield. Oh, sorry. Holyfield versus Belfort. Yeah, I don't think that'll be on Prize Picks. But everything else you could imagine will be on Prize Picks this week. You go make your NFL over, under, or multi-sport power plays. I love the new interface at Prize Picks, navigating that site, jumping from position to position or sport to sport. Honestly, there's not an easier operating system in the game. And there's about 100 compliments I could give to Prize Picks, like genuinely. But to me, it all starts with the interface. It's truly easy to navigate. And when you're making those multi-sport tickets, that's helpful. I always enjoy it. So you take advantage this football season. Use that promo code FTN for your 100% instant match bonus. Before we get out of here in a few minutes, I'm going to tell you all of my Charger futures. You want to hear them? No? Of course you do. No, you don't. I'll tell them to you anyway. I've bet everything. The day after the season last year, I bet them to win the Super Bowl this year, but I do that any year. Even if they weren't exciting or even if other people didn't like them, I would bet them anyway. I got a 40-1. So that's a good number. I think now they're probably like 30. I bet Herbert to win MVP. Our boy Elliot Chris here at FTN, he showed me the 30-1. That was, probably in the winter. I don't even remember the password for that sports book. It's good to know a guy like Elliot. He knows where every line is and where every sports book has it. And he shares that information with you guys here at FTN. The difference is I'm just this fluff on the outside. They give it to you for free. The real smart guys that did their homework in high school, they're behind the paywall. That's where all the good information is. The real workable information. You make lots of monies on. You want to get in on the team at FTN, you use that promo code BOLT. Use the promo code BOLT when signing up for FTN. And, just as we are on the verge of football season, that'll get you a 20% off discount. The whole kit and caboodle. BOLT is the promo code to use when signing up for FTN this football season. Jeff Radcliffe, you know what I did for all my fantasy drafts? I just used Radcliffe's cheat sheets. Why would I do anything else? Anyone pretending that they know more, it's just ridiculous. No offense. Listen, I'm not the smartest guy in the room, but I'm smart enough to identify who the smartest guy in the room is and copy his homework. You feel me? That's what's going on behind FTN. All the smartest guys in the room, you get to copy their homework all football season long and make a lot of money doing it. What else? Justin Herbert, MVP. Derwin James, Defensive Player of the Year. Joey Bosa, Defensive Player of the Year. Joey Bosa, 16-1. Derwin James, probably 28-1. Brandon Staley, Coach of the Year. I'm not even expecting to hit these. I just making them. Because if it goes good, my soul will be happy anyway. Chargers over 9 minus 110. Chargers to make the playoffs plus 130. The only bet I didn't make, friends, was the division. Maybe I'll make it before Sunday. I'm smart enough to know who plays quarterback in my division. What great timing for us Charger or for anyone in the AFC when they had the extra playoff spot 2 years ago, a year ago, last year's the first year. I mean, as someone who's in a division with Patrick Mahomes, they could not have added a playoff spot at a better time in my life. So thank you for that. So I haven't bet the Chargers to win the division. I assume if they win the division, I'll win one of those props. Like, why bet them to win the division at 6-1 when you could just bet Staley to win Coach of the Year at like 14-1, which is a ridiculous odd. And you're like, how does he even make good on that? I'm not sure. Because I don't even know the road for Staley to win Coach of the Year. Even though I really like him and a lot of people like him, like, will he get all the credit? I guess he would, because the Chargers are so stupid that if they actually did have success, maybe everyone would just give Staley the credit. But there's a lot of talent there. So you're going to give I don't know. I just think you're better off betting like Herbert to win MVP or Staley to win Coach of the Year than the Chargers to win the division. Because if they actually beat the Chiefs, that's going to take 13 freaking wins and the head-to-heads. It's not really possible. Like, I'm biased. Like, I love the Chargers. I can be biased in 100 different ways. Picking them to win the division isn't one. Now, getting lucky, I don't mean getting lucky. Being really good, making the playoffs, getting hot in the playoffs, achieving the ceiling. That, again, there's people who do their homework that tell me it's possible. They believe it more than I do. I just hope. Like, that's, I guess, more likely. This is such a stupid comment, but winning the division and win, like, yeah, they're not winning 13 or 14 games. They're going to win like 11, 10 if they're good, 11 if they're really good, 12 if they're great. Kansas City is like 11 if it goes horribly wrong, 12 if it's the bad version, 13 if they're just fine. I'm not, yeah. So no, I'll feel really stupid though. No, I'll be so happy I'd get over it, but I'll remember not betting them to win the division if they did. What a stupid conversation. It's like betting the sky's going to be purple tomorrow. The Chiefs are amazing. The Chiefs are going to the Super Bowl. I'm leaving you on Friday. The season starts tomorrow. The Chiefs are going to play. See, now I'm changing a pick I made 2 weeks ago. The Chiefs are going to play the Packers. Aaron Rodgers is angry. Aaron Rodgers FU tour. Chiefs, Packers, Super Bowl. It's not fancy. I'm not picking anyone to shock the world. Last year it was Chiefs Bucks, and that was the most commonly picked preseason Super Bowl in the history of man. And it actually made good on it. So yeah, Chiefs, Packers. I'm not picking the Chiefs not to go to the Super Bowl. They're too good. I'm Geoff Fienberg. Thank you, friends. Sign up to FTN. Use that promo code BOLT. I'll be back next Wednesday where we'll be talking some Silverado, and you'll probably want to see the intro because I imagine the Chargers will miss a 44-yarder at the buzzer. Break my heart Sunday. Sounds about right. Yeah, I'm prepared for it. I'll see you next week, friends. I'm out.